Hello and welcome to a brand new season of Larissa's Kitchen, the show that combines cooking, comedy, and cats with the intent to inspire you to cook for yourself. Today we'll be making the delightfully simple and simply delightful chicken piccata, and we're going to round out this meal with a side of risotto and sautéed asparagus. We're going to prep everything first. This is 2 bunches of asparagus that I have rinsed and snapped the bottoms off. We'll just set this aside. We also need to slice very thinly 1 sweet onion. These onions are for the risotto, so we can just set these aside. Now you're going to need enough chicken to feed your family. I cut these chicken breasts in half lengthwise because they're so large, but you may not need to. Whichever you do, they do need to be pounded to 1/4 inch thick. Then we're going to season them with salt and pepper and dust them with just a little bit of flour. We're also going to need 1/4 cup of fresh squeezed lemon juice along with some lemon slices. So I have 4 lemons. I'm going to go ahead and squeeze them first till I get my 1/4 cup, and then I'll slice the rest up. We want to make sure to strain out the seeds. Okay, these should be about 1/4 inch thick slices, and we need to remove any of the seeds. Alright, we're going to need to start making the risotto first because it cooks the longest. So, we've got our onion that we sliced thinly. We're also going to need 1.5 cups of arborio rice, 4 cups of a good quality chicken stock, and 1/2 cup of sherry. We're also going to need a little bit of salt and pepper, and we're going to start with 2 tablespoons of butter. Okay, for the chicken, we've got our chicken that's been pounded, seasoned, and dusted. We've got our lemon slices and our lemon juice. We're also going to need 1/2 cup of sherry, 1 cup of chicken stock, 4 to 5 cloves of garlic minced very finely, and 2 tablespoons of capers. We're also going to need about 4 tablespoons of butter to fry this in. The asparagus is going to be the last thing we cook, and all we need for that is just about 4 tablespoons of butter and a little bit of salt and pepper. To start this risotto, we're going to melt these 4 tablespoons of butter. After the butter's melted, we're going to go ahead and sweat down the onion. I've also got my quart of chicken stock heating in a small saucepan. Okay, we want to move this around the pan and let it sweat. We don't want it to get too caramelized. Okay, and we're also going to season this with about 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt and 1/4 teaspoon of fresh cracked black pepper. Okay, these onions have just a little bit of color on them and they're very fragrant. So we're going to go ahead and add in our arborio rice, and we're going to saute this until it gets a little color on it too. Okay, this looks good, so we're going to go ahead and deglaze with our sherry. Alright, all this sherry has either cooked off or absorbed, so we're going to go ahead and start adding our chicken stock in 1 cup at a time. Okay, and then we're going to stir this, and we're going to let this simmer until it absorbs all the way, and then we'll go ahead and add another cup of chicken stock, and we'll keep doing that. This will take about 45 minutes to completely cook. Okay, another cup. And my cameraman and I have changed positions. Okay, up next is the chicken. Okay, I've got my largest nonstick skillet on over about medium-high heat. Now we're going to melt these 4 tablespoons of butter. Once it stops bubbling, we're going to go ahead and start frying the chicken breasts. Now we'll probably have to fry these in a couple of batches because we don't want to overload this pan. Okay, and another cup of chicken broth. Okay, we need to keep an eye on this risotto, and we should probably stir it quite frequently. Alright, another cup of chicken stock. Alright, because we pounded this chicken so thinly, it cooks pretty quickly. Probably only about 2 or 3 minutes aside. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and add the last of this broth. Okay, we're going to take this chicken out of the pan and we're going to set it aside for just a few minutes. Okay, this is simmering a little bit too hard, so we're going to turn this down to medium-low. Okay, now I've turned this pan down to low because we're going to start with the garlic and we don't want it to burn. Alright, so just a quick fry on this garlic. Okay, now we're going to deglaze with the sherry. Okay, make sure you scrape all the brown bits up. And we're going to let this reduce till it's almost gone. Okay, this is almost completely reduced down, so we're going to go ahead and add in our lemon slices. The lemon juice and the capers. And then we're going to layer the chicken back on top. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and turn this back up to medium-high, and we're going to add in our chicken broth. And then we're going to let this simmer and tenderize all this chicken and reduce down until this is a nice thick sauce. Okay, this risotto is done, so we're going to go ahead and turn it off, set this aside, and then we're going to use this burner to finish our asparagus. Okay, while we let this 4 tablespoons of butter melt, we're going to go ahead and turn these chicken breasts over. Alright, now that all this butter is melted, we're just going to go ahead and layer in this asparagus. Okay, we're going to go ahead and season this with about 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt and about 1/4 teaspoon of fresh cracked black pepper. And then we're going to turn this occasionally, and we're going to let this asparagus go until it is very bright green. Okay, let's give this chicken piccata, risotto, and asparagus a taste. Put a little risotto on my chicken. Oh, the lemon is wonderful. And the asparagus is nice and crunchy. Okay, this onion is for the risotto, so we can set that aside. I'm going to clunk it every time.